absorb some local color through the magic of AM radio.
Harkens me back to my youthful, careful days on the playgrounds of Forest Park School and my gifted days.
And you're gifted, all right.
What were you gifted at?
Well, I guess I had some issues.
Detention?
Yeah. When my dad told me I wouldn't plan on going to Harvard anytime real soon.
You're going to have to get in touch with me. We're gonna link all the volunteers via satellite cell phone so that we can put out the message immediately, because you remember the problem we had in January. We had to have Governor Walker come in with the National Guard. It was horrible.
Steve, listen to me. Bring your own microphone because you lost this one.
Okay, Captain Ron, you've been doing this so well for the last few weeks. So go ahead, make my day.
Oh, great one with the magic pen.
Oh, boy, he wants that microphone forever, doesn't he? Now, you got to visualize it. We put a statue of Pete on this. Put him wearing like a hard hat and flannel shirt, tool belt, snow shovel.
You mean like from the Village people?
Yeah, yeah, a couple of...
Now, wait a minute here.
Good morning, Kenosha. This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the all-new and improved Kenosha Today Weekly Report. Coming to you live from Studio A here at WIP AM 1050 on your radio dial. Streaming live across the very warm and sunny cornfields of the Midwest, reaching out to over 50,000 homes here in the Tri-County area. Being brought to you this morning by our major sponsor, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, and a host of other very fine local businesses. Also joining us this morning, you cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him. The big dog, little Stevie Casey, joins us here in our Kenosha State Trolley Barn.
Good morning, Kenosha.
We're not interrupting anything
No,
here.
my phone was just ringing.
Yeah. Steve, bring home some bread and milk, will you?
That could be the mayor calling to see if I need him to do some shopping for us this afternoon.
After all, you pull the strings at City Hall.
Yeah, exactly.
We all know that. And also joining us on the A-Team this morning, our video coordinator, Channel 14's Trooper of the Year, Captain Ron joins us here at Camp Happy Face.
Good morning, Captain Ron. I'm so excited. Your wife made me a hot dog. No, you made me a hot dog.
I made them.
And what's it got on it?
Just mustard.
Just mustard, just like I like them.
She saw them, just the hot dog with mustard. She goes, that's got to be Casey's.
You didn't want any Grangioli sauce or...
Gardinera.
No, not... What's the...
Gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola. Gorgonzola for the
That's the cheese.
for the New York strip, not the hot dogs.
All right.
So I'm going to eat this on the air.
Well, Pete's already got two of them ahead of you.
You already ate two of them?
No, I ate one.
He's got one in reserve.
I got the second one ready to go here.
Well, I didn't bring donuts, so...
And engineering the Kenosha Today Train Wreck this morning, WIP's fashion shirt consultant, their 6-time Employee of the Month. And this year's, I don't know, did you did you broadcast a Catholic football game this year, Pete?
No, and St. Joe's lost now, so they're eliminated. Yeah. But I had them penciled in for next week if they would have won.
Okay, there you go. Coming up right after our first break at 10:30, the all-new Kenosha Today lightning round of City and Jeopardy trivia game sponsored by the House of Gerhard's Restaurant. And... hey, there's even more good news, boys and girls. Tomorrow at noon, each and every Sunday, you can tune in here at WIP AM 1050 and listen to the replay of the show. Until we find something better, I mean, that's probably
kind of scary.
That's probably
that
better.
make you want to stay in your house and lock your doors.
And then you can watch.
Well, they must really like us.
Watch the replay of this finely tuned, professionally produced Excuse for Radio show on Time Warner.
We are
Channel
professional journalists.
14. Hey, you know, speaking of Channel 14, there was a big article, Ronnie, about Channel 14 celebrating 30 years. Did I miss? Are we still on 14?
Yes, we are.
Well, the reason I asked that is because I was asked to me this, you know, here they've been around 30 years. We've been on there.
19.
Well, it'll be 20 in April of 2016. And so I'm thinking, well, 50 shows a year times 20, carry the 1, 0.
You got to take your shoes off for this?
That's about 1,000.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because
think of all those hours of high-quality material.
Do you think we'll last 1,000 shows?
You didn't get a...
that'll take me to my 85th birthday, and if you think I have a photogenic mind
I'm going to tell you,
wait.
if you make it to your 85th birthday,
So you didn't get a mention.
that'll be a little.
No, I was just
shocking.
wondering, maybe it was a mere oversight on the Kenosha News that I'm not looking for that, but really, it'd be like
They're celebrating 30 years, right? Is that
right?
is that
And
what
we've
it is?
been there basically 20.
Haven't you had enough coverage in the Kenosha News over
Yeah, I
the
can
years?
imagine. Yeah,
You
how many times
two-time
can I fail at this?
Failed
right?
mayoral candidate, yeah.
I knew that was coming.
Well, all right. Guess I had that coming, Pete. Hey, we don't have our light board here, so if there's a call, you'll have to.
Yes, I'll pass it along to you.
26269. Well, I put
was
it
a bad
over here.
chord.
It's
Yeah.
no purpose here. Pete said last week You have to
It's a paperweight.
jiggle the handle.
In case
There's
the
no
breeze comes through, yeah.
handle. I guess it's
Jiggle the handle. That's good.
No, what happened to the phone board?
It doesn't. We had a bad cord on this side, so we need to take the good cord from your side so I can see when there's calls coming.
Look
in.
at more duct tape, Stevie. More duct tape, and he says jiggle the handle. Well, there's no handle here.
There's no handle.
There's no cord.
Jiggle
either.
the handle. What is it? A toilet?
God, how much dust can we accumulate?
That's a great phrase to use for anything that's not working. Jiggle the handle.
And duct tape.
Duct tape.
duct tape.
WD-40, baby. Get it done.
Bad news for Cub fans.
Are the Cubs still in it or no?
The Cub fans. I guess next year, all their hopes are swept into next year, and so for all you Cub fans, we got that ready, Pete?
We do, and we have WLIP's #1 Cub fan on the line.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Good morning, everybody.
Shirley,
and the phones are working, right?
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
what working?
The phones.
No, you're talking into the receiver, and you're
Yeah,
just
this is
hearing us.
I didn't
Please
know if you could
deposit a
get-
quarter and leave a message at the tone.
You probably really not want to hear me, but it's me.
Shirley, you probably are still grieving.
I am. Yeah.
Well, here we thought, as long as you're grieving, here's a little thing from Steve Goodman.
Well, Mike, it was the dying Cub fans last
just for
request,
you.
so here it is. Do they still play the blues in Chicago when baseball season rolls around?
Very soothing.
When the snow melts away, do the Cubbies still play in their ivy-covered burial ground? When I was a boy, they were my pride and joy. Now they only bring fatigue to the home of the brave, the land of the free, and the doormat of the National League.
Every year we play
I
that.
know. Well, I hope
Steve
there's
Goodman.
another year. That they always say, wait till next year. Well, I hope there is.
Well, I got to tell you, Shirley, I would have hoped they would have eked out at least 1 or 2 games.
You're not the only one. I thought for sure the last one they would pull it out, and win one of them.
Not an empty seat in the house, though.
I know.
Right up until the
no.
bitter end.
Oh, I know. It was
The
just-
bitter end, that's a Cub fan's favorite phrase.
Well, I'm telling you, like Pete says, they sure improved from last year. 97 wins. I can't complain. They really did good.
Pete said that?
Pete said that.
Oh, wow.
I say lots of things.
Yeah.
And you believed him?
Look at
Yes,
how
I
much
do.
airtime they give me in a week. I say a lot of things.
Him and I go around with the Cubs for years now.
Well, every team needs 100 years to rebuild.
Yeah, right.
And
We are in the process of rebuilding this show.
it's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. No, they did really good. It's just they kind of, I don't know what happened at the end. They just was too much pressure, or I
Mets
don't
were too
know.
good. Shirley, I got to let you go because we got this agreement with Lenny Palmer. Remember, you know who he is, don't you?
Yeah, I kind of.
Okay. Oh,
Wow.
well, anyway, he's got this remote today, and so we're going to go to him for a minute at 15, 30, and 45 minutes on the hour. So you go ahead.
Yes, I'll be listening.
Okay. I'm
Thanks
sure
for the warning.
he'll be excited. All right, Pete, we got to go there now.
Yeah, you can go ahead and introduce him.
Me? Introduce Lenny Palmer?
Just say we're go out to Anastos Motors and
We're going out to Anastas Motors
And-
with Lenny Palmer.
Oh, boy, did you wake up from that nap for that 1 minute little
What the
segment?
hell? What the hell was that?
I don't know. It was cutting in and out. Is that
yeah, we're working on
You
the
got to get
technical
that fixed. Although
difficulties.
what appealed to me is not only the great deals at Anastos Motors, but the hot dogs. They got hot dogs.
Well, we got hot dogs here.
We got hot dogs here, and I'm holding it in my grubby little hand right now. And I'm going to open this up. I'm gonna take a bite of this hot dog. It's a pure beef, I would assume, right? Wonderful. There we go.
All right, caller
There we
on
go.
line 1, boys.
Oh, how
He's
exciting!
calling us.
How
Good morning
exciting.
on Kenosha today.
Boy, that sounded like his regular show.
Hey, we're trying to build up the act,
I was
Lenny.
going to say, what the hell was that?
Really? I don't know.
Well, all I've got to say about that,
you're just like you read it, Lenny.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was written out.
I got a question for you, Lenny. How many hot dogs have you eaten so far?
He was probably still chewing on one when he did that.
Well, Pete's got 2 down here, so...
Now what? I got number 2 on the on-deck circle here for the 11 o'clock news.
Hey, Lenny, what'd you do with this lighting board here for the phone calls? It's not working. Well said.
I don't know. Anyway, my reason for calling this morning, this is Dale from Kenosha.
Oh,
Dale, I thought
you
this...
fooled us.
What the hell? I thought this was Lenny Palmer.
Right. Anyway, I'm a little upset with the 17th district right now.
Oh, boy, here we go.
No, I mean, I'm not going to get into too much here, but I was a little upset that they didn't invite other first responders to this little get-together they had last week.
What get-together?
Oh, they had a little thing for appreciation for first responders, fire department, police departments, but
no snow shovels?
No snow removal people.
Oh, man.
Now, wait a minute, Dale. I would have thought you would have been high on that list. You've been out there for the last 3 winters assisting in some of the snow removal out there.
I know, and that's why I'm so upset. I don't get it.
Well, should we do something official? Should Steve's got the mayor and
listen,
speed dial.
I can talk to the mayor. The mayor is right now. He's cutting the grass into my backyard this morning. I can talk to him when I get home.
Well, send him over to my house. You can cut mine too.
Oh, he's the mayor. I don't know.
Well, I mean, everybody. I've been accused of running City Hall for years now.
Steve, you can pull the strings. You do it at City Hall.
Well, did they give out certificates or awards or something, and you were slighted?
I really didn't, get a chance to hear the whole thing. It was during the alderman's comments
well, there you have it.
Silly council meeting.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I got to tell you, Dale, we are in the midst of the weekend edition here of Kenosha Today. We are putting together an award for Volunteer of the Year award, and I got to tell you, you between you and Paul Vagnoni, you both rate right up there as far as chief volunteers, because you've got a hut out there, right? In the 17th district.
I feel good about that. I'm in good company.
Well, I would think so.
You and Paul Vagnoni, shoulder to shoulder. There's a pair of volunteers.
I got to ask you another question now. I'm going to take you to task a little bit. I saw you in front of your house this week, and I got to tell you, did you take the rehab seriously with the whole knee thing? Because you look like you were moving kind of slow.
No, I did not take it seriously.
Well,
no, I have my good days and my bad days, and that was actually my left knee that was giving me trouble, not the one that I had fixed.
Well, you know who you're looking like.
Oh boy!
Every single year that goes by, and you know that I knew your father for a lot of years.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
You're looking more and more like your father, Alex.
He was a lot better looking than me. Come on.
I used to have a lot of fun working with him at the Jockey Distribution Center. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun working there with him too. In fact, one morning, I used to have a crazy dog. My dad made bacon and eggs and went out to get the paper to read, and he came back, and the dog had already eaten his breakfast.
The Kenosha News, the dog? What kind of dog's not too smart, is he?
No. Then I told the guys at work that I had a great day. He made bacon and eggs for my dog and went and got the paper for him to read while he ate. I came home and there was no dog.
We don't know what happened now, Fido.
I think the dog became a hot dog somewhere.
Oh,
well, speaking of hot dogs, I've got a hot dog here. I'm going to open it up in the next half an hour, and I'm going to eat it.
I got to say, the hot dogs are very filling. Yeah, I got another one here. I got to make room for it.
Well, Dale, thank you very much for the call. We appreciate all your volunteerism.
You guys have a great weekend.
All right, thanks. Hey, Pete, you told me that was Lenny on line 1.
No, I never said it was Lenny. I said you had a caller on line 1.
Oh.
Hello.
We both thought it was Lenny on line 1. Obviously.
You couldn't tell that was Dale and not Lenny?
No, I can't tell.
Jeez.
You
take away your blinky lights, and now you're just distracted.
I'm lost. I better read a sponsor before we go back to Lenny. Speaking of the mayor, we'll come back to this, but the mayor wants to shift his focus to Simmons Island Beach House. And he put in something like $7 million for the next 7.7 for the next 5 years, and $2 million was already earmarked for the beach house on 2014. Pete, did you know back in 2002 they had already replaced the worn-out slate tiles on the roof with asphalt shingles. Nobody even batted an eyelash.
No, apparently not.
They didn't consult us because that was before our time. But I think that's a great idea to spend money down there.
Where people actually go and hang out.
Yeah, and they go there now.
Imagine that.
And I don't know what the $7 million. You know, they spent $400,000 a couple years ago on that boardwalk going from the beach over to the pier over there on the north side. So if you think this is a good idea, a good use of our tax dollars, give us a call, 262-694-1050.
Well, I mean, it's a crazy idea, right? There's people hanging around enjoying the spot. Maybe they'd like to buy some goods and services from people in a place.
This has got a terrific beach house. It was built in, I think, probably 1935 or
Depression
7.
era again, yes.
So it's on the landmark committee and historic landmarks list. And, geez, you want to bring people downtown, rent it out and get a public-private partnership with, like they did for Simmons Field, like we should do with the Velodrome, and like we should do, or we have done with the small boat harbor, and let somebody lease it out, and we could turn this into, hey, people could have fun. They could even maybe buy a beer and some wine like they do at North Beach.
Let's not push it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you don't want to have that alcohol too visible. That could be a bad influence on children, you know.
Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it's on the same shelf or the same store where candy is sold. That could be rough, man.
Well, here,
you wouldn't want to have that.
We've talked about this before.
I
Racine
hammered that so hard this week. That was just
Racine has done a
stupidest.
fantastic job of this deal. We're talking, little Stevie, about the $7.7 million to allotted for the Simmons Island and the Simmons Island Beach House restoration.
You mean the mayor shifting the focus away from Southport down to Simmons Island?
Yeah, at least there's somebody down here. There's people here, and,
Right.
And the suggestion is to once they clean this up.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I think it's I've said, and you and I've talked about this on the air a couple of times about how we always hear about the downtown development of the downtown. Well, here's an idea. Let's put some money into the lakefront, and with the lakefront being developed, I think it'll spur some ancillary development into the downtown area.
Ancillary.
Well,
Yeah. Okay. I've been going there for a minute. Ancillary.
Well, have you been to the North Beach in Racine?
Yeah,
we've
number
talked
of
about
times.
that. It's
Yeah.
fabulous. I mean, there's activity down there. They actually have a vendor down there selling adult beverages.
Well,
Get
that
a load
person
of that.
leases that property from
Right.
the city, just like the Kingfish do for Simmons Island, Simmons Field, and we have other partnerships with the small boat harbor.
Well, don't you remember? You're a little bit older than me, but don't you remember when we were growing up? We didn't have municipal pools. You know, we had the beaches, and you'd ride your bike down to the beaches, and there were lifeguard stations, big tall chairs that they'd sit in.
You could swim and do your laundry at the same time.
Well, that's exactly right. But the point is, it appeared to be
beat your shirt against the rock. You know,
the beaches appeared to be a place where people wanted to be. You know, there was a flurry of activity. You know, I've been opposed, and I don't care who uses the pools or not. I've always been opposed to municipal pools. We're living next door to one of the biggest natural resources in the country, Lake Michigan. Let's utilize it a little bit.
262-694-1050. They had this big article about the feasibility study for a year-round public market, and the guy, I don't know where he's coming up with a cost of $14 to $23 million to build this, but he gave 4 different possible locations. One would be kind of on the northwest corner across from Lou Perini's on Sheridan 52nd.
Well, they're calling that the Harstick site.
That's the other site. That's on number 2. That would be on the southeast corner.
Oh, and then the other site was Captain Jim's. They're talking about that.
Yes, yeah. That's the northwest corner. And then the other one was down kind of, what's the name of that park? Park de Blois or Blau? You know where the clock is? DeBowie?
Yeah, it's right next to Kablooey Park.
Yes.
You know, down by the Burger King statue.
Yeah. Or then the one I liked is across from Charlie Dog's, what I refer to as the Grassy Knoll. And you want to bring people downtown. And
I don't think the Grassy Knoll is big enough, though, Scott.
Oh, yeah, that'd be big enough. For indoor?
Now, are they talking about year-round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you put it there and had it developed, there's no deed restrictions on that. If you go over to number 4 by the clock, there is some deed restrictions on how high a developer could go up. Now, if you go over by what the trolley dogs there, you can go up 10 stories if you wanted. So if a developer was going to, let's say, for example, use the first floor for a year-round market and put in something like garage doors, so in the summertime you can just open them up and you got it right there, or you got it. And then I always thought that coupling that with the AMC Auto Museum would be a good destination. There's a place for extra parking down there, and then you'd be right on the doorstep of downtown. So,
well, talking about downtown museums, I got to share something with you, and I'm kind of embarrassed because of this.
You're embarrassed? Okay.
Yeah, I did mention that I was an alderman for 22 years, very involved with the city council.
Stevie,
I have never. All right, enough. Okay, kill the background. In all of my years on the city council and all of my years being active in Kenosha politics, never once, and I'm embarrassed to say this, I had never been through the lighthouse keeper's house. They turned that into a museum.
We donated money to that.
We donated money. The city signed off on it. My wife and I were out driving around a few weekends ago, and the lighthouse was open for tours, and we went and toured the lighthouse keeper's house, and then we paid I think it was $10 a head. We could walk up to the lighthouse on top. Yeah, 77 steps.
That is really an experience. Thing was built in 1866, and you got to go up this spiral, and
then when you get to the top.
How did you get through that? I'm just curious.
Well, I grabbed the top railing, and my wife was behind me with the gatekeeper, and they pushed me up to the top level of the lighthouse.
How'd you get down?
I was.
Oh, did you just jump off?
Gravity.
Gravity. No, but I got to tell you, I mean, that was kind of a cool thing.
Back in 15 years ago when we had all those fundraising.
Yeah, that was back in, absolutely.
Friends of the Lighthouse, separate nonprofit, and we raised the money to, one of those was paid $5,000 for one of the schoolhouse rooms there and dedicated it to Ed Warner, who was,
he was real involved with that as well.
I mean, that's a gorgeous place down there. So we got another minute, Pete, or you want to go to Lenny now?
Let's go to Lenny now.
All right. Hey, Steve, you want to give him the intro again?
Let's go over to Lenny Palmer on Green Bay Road at Anastos Motors. You know what? I'm eating this hot dog.
Well, why don't we grab? I tell you what. Why don't we grab the weather break? Let Stevie eat his hot dog, and we'll do the trivia after the break.
Fabulous hot dog, Pete.
Like we usually would.
He's going to dribble mustard right down his nice.
I'm wearing a yellow shirt. shirt.
Good move on your part. We'll be back after 1 minute of the weather, and then we'll play trivia. If you just tuned in, this is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WLIP AM 1050 on your radio dial. Brought to you by our major sponsor, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, and a host of many other very fine local businesses. Joining us, the big dog, little Stevie Casey, is here and looking for more.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, that was an excellent hot dog. I just ate a hot dog with mustard on it, nothing but mustard.
They were good.
And this is enlightening.
That was a pure beef hot dog that Captain Ron made this morning at 9 o'clock just for us.
Yeah, how about it?
It was delicious.
Also,
try to sound more enthusiastic there, Scotty. A little bit.
I'm too bloated and stuffed from my 4-ounce fillets from last night. I can't have a hot dog.
Talk about beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also joining us, Captain Ron and Pistol Pete Sargent.
Sargent.
I'll get it right.
Captain Ron, we're going to start calling him Oscar Mayer.
Little Oscar. Little wiener. Show's being recorded for training purposes, or so we can.
No, there was a story about Jimmy Dean's sausages this week, but we talked about it on Lip Off yesterday. So
for those that are recording,
what is Lip Off?
It's a weeknights live at 5 here on WLIP.
I'll be darned.
5 to 7.
WLIP has
correct.
Evening programming.
That is correct, sir. Yes.
When did they start that?
We started. We're 24-hour full service.
Was that Pete just walking out the door?
I thought we were still talking to Lenny Palmer.
I gotta tell you, we get Pete mad at us, and he walks out. What the hell are we gonna?
You're gonna keep talking till somebody else comes in here and bails you out.
Oh boy, management love that.
Here we go. Here we go.
You got John Perry on speed dial?
Well, he's been fired.
No, he's back.
Is he back? They took him back.
He's actually on vacation till tomorrow. So.
He called in last week.
He called in the show here?
Yeah.
Well, no, apparently after I left. No, did he call? We won't discuss that.
Also, you can hear the replay of this very fine radio broadcast tomorrow at noon. Right, Pete? We're still being recorded?
I checked it as of 7 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
So.
And thanks to my good friend Steve Snyder, you can find us 24/7 on YouTube. 24/7, 365 days a year. And
we're
now,
on YouTube.
On YouTube. You know, that's similar to Facebook without the, but it's on. You have to go through a computer without the tube, or with the tube.
Is that Facebook or I'm on the 50 and over website High Step. Did I tell you that story?
Is this a?
No,
want to tell a story?
Backstep. Yeah, it was Backstep.
Backstep. Yeah.
So my daughter and my sons are all on Facebook and Skyping and all this other jazz. I said, well, I'm on Backstep. Backstep? What's Backstep? Well, it's a website just for parents 50 and older. Well, what do you mean? Well, Google search Backstep. You're not going to be able to get on because it's a private website. You know, you can, instead of unfriending somebody, you can send them a Charlie horse, you know, or a twisted knee. I got a twisted knee from a friend of mine.
Well, that sure beats some of the websites I'm on lately.
Yeah.
And now, boys and girls, it's time to play Kenosha's fastest growing game show sensation, the lightning round of City in Jeopardy. We're now going to clear the phone lines.
Oh, we don't know whether they're clear now. We don't have a phone board.
We're going to, Pete.
They're clear. Yeah, we got you.
And Stevie's going to read the question, which is a very sophisticated, intelligent, multiple choice question. And you will then get 3 somewhat intellectual answers to choose from. After that, we're going to hear the ding. And the first caller to correctly answer the question will win a $25 gift certificate to the House of Gerhard's.
My favorite restaurant.
Is located at 3927 75th Street here in Kenosha. Open daily, specializing in fine dining, serving authentic German cuisine. Celebrating their 50th year at the same location. Call for a reservation 262-694-5212. Or you can find them on Facebook or at thehouseofgerhard.com. Phone lines are clear?
Yes, indeed.
Here's Stevie.
Here's the question. Kenosha Today Weekend Edition hosts Steve Casey and Scott Barter are very politically in tune. In fact, Steve Casey, me, was an alderman for 22 years serving the neighborhood that he was born and raised in. Scott Barter has always been politically involved. In fact, he was a mayoral candidate at one point. For a $25 gift certificate, this week's question is, how many times did Scott Barter run for mayor? Was it A, 1 time, B, 2 times, C, every time?
262-694.
To the first caller.
I hope my mom isn't calling in.
Is somebody calling in?
Yes, believe it or not.
Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today, and make this snappy. Who's this?
Good morning.
Who's this?
This is Joe.
Okay, Joe. You heard the question?
Yes.
All right.
What's the answer? A, he ran for mayor 1 time. B, he ran for mayor 2 times. C, he ran for mayor every time.
Let's go with B.
B, 2 times. That's the winner. Give him the bell. There we go. Congratulations, Joe. You won a $25 gift certificate at the House of Gerhard's, courtesy of Gerhard's and 2-time failed mayoral candidate, Scott Barter.
That'll make your mom proud, huh?
We need you to stay on the air.
Okay.
Because Pete is going to take some information from you, and I'm going to continue this tangent about the 2-time failed mayoral candidate.
No, we're not. Give him another hot dog. Okay, Joe, thanks for playing, and stay on. Pete will get your information.
I like that one.
You read this sponsor here.
We're also brought to
the phone lines ringing here.
Oh, we do? Well, then, okay. Yeah. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Hi, it's Irish Ruth. Good morning.
Irish Ruth.
Yep. I heard on another radio station someone made the comment about senior citizens should not receive the discount that they get in places, fast food
I agree.
places.
Why should you have to pay less?
Who's this saying they agree, Pete?
I did. Yeah, I agree. It's a ripoff. What if I don't live till 55? I don't get to take advantage.
What's
Ruth.
your point, dear?
Okay, I thought that I like to hear someone else's opinion, and I don't normally use the discount that often. With my below the poverty level income, I don't go to fast food places. And I do know one thing that I have an opinion on it. I have some friends who have really good incomes who are senior citizens, and they get the ride for free on trains and buses. And I think that if they're eligible for it, they should abstain from it. Like, for example...
Okay, honey, you asked, you want to hear somebody else? I got some callers here that are calling in about this. I guess the question is, should seniors like myself, when I get discounts, should we be allowed, or should they discontinue them or lower the discount? Correct? Okay. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Do it now.
Okay. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Yes, that's us.
Yes, this is Steve in Kenosha.
Okay, Steve.
I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow is the Kenosha Sports Extravaganza of the year at Sheridan Lanes at noon. Everybody can watch Pete bowl.
Oh Lord!
Oh,
is this cost? Is there a charge for this?
Yes, it all goes through the Kenosha Rotary. So pay money to see me be terrible at bowling.
That's it. Yes, yes.
Now, who's on the WIP team?
It's myself, Bill Lawrence,
oh my God.
Maria from the K-Town Report, Care from Sales, and Dan from Liploff.
I heard Dan's a ringer.
Dan is a ringer. He is very good. I'm very terrible.
Bill Lawrence?
Bill Lawrence
bowling?
is going to bowl. Oh, yeah.
He bowls?
He does.
Has he got a bowling? You guys got to wear your WIP bowling shirts? Hey, I knew they'd come in handy.
We'll see.
Now, I understand that the WIP team gets speaking of ringers, they get to use the bumper guards, right?
I hope so.
Yes.
Because we don't want to embarrass anybody, do we?
Well, you got to remember, they're up against Sue in the bipolar rollers there, so...
Oh, yeah, she's from the boathouse, soon the bipolar rollers. What could go wrong there with a bunch of blonde married women?
Oh, that's a train wreck waiting to happen.
Well, Dan will be distracted, so there goes our ringer. Yeah.
Well, there's no Packer game on tomorrow. I may come by and watch Pete and Bill bowl.
Is laughing allowed?
We got lots of good raffles and some great prizes, and the proceeds all go to the Rotary Club of Kenosha, and we.
Is that a Rotary West or downtown Rotary?
That's well, we're the Rotary Club, but we're kind of referred to as downtown Rotary. So
is heckling allowed?
I hope so.
Oh yes.
And I'm sure you're going to be selling hot dogs or snacks because Pete, he can be on withdrawals by noon.
Burgers, brats, and beer. So we have all that there. So
that'll improve my bowling. All three of those things.
In case the energy level goes down. All right, that's at noon at
Sheridan Lanes. If you want to bowl, registration starts at 11 o'clock, and bowling starts at noon.
Are they having adult beverages?
Oh yes. Well, I already said that. I think they even have They have Long Island's there too, Scott. So
Pete.
It's my favorite place to visit, Long Island's. Oh, yeah.
All right, Stevie, thanks.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Bye.
We got to go to Lenny Palmer again.
Yeah, we do. So.
Stevie?
Take it away, Lenny Palmer at Anastos Motors on...
Get the Cheetos out of your mouth.
You got to give me a little advance notice when we're coming back.
Well, it's a minute.
Well, it was a minute. Very prompt.
Now we got to read one of our own sponsors, the Sunnyside Club, located at 75.
Everybody knows our Congressman Paul Ryan. Did we talk about this already?
Well, no. I was gonna let me set this up because Biden's out, and then Ryan is maybe in, and Hillary Clinton. You talk about winning first place in the Washington D.C. grill games. My God, I haven't seen anybody get burnt that bad. Probably since Pete burnt his sausages.
What do you mean? She did well.
Well, it all depends who you talk to. The Democrats say, that she did perfectly, but the Republicans are saying she lied, and we still don't have answers from her. So
I don't think you'll ever get answers from her.
Well, I mean, but the point is, Stevie, we got the Democrats and Republicans still can't agree on anything.
She did a lot better when she wasn't recently concussed. Remember last time she'd just fallen and hit her head, and I think that this time she did a little bit better.
But we were talking about Paul Ryan, and if you have an opinion, 262-694-1050. Good move.
Here's my thought. Here's my thought. Obviously, he's 45 years old, 46 years old. 70. He's a young man, 47, whatever the case is. He's got a bright political future. Why in the world would he want to put himself in the position of Speaker of the House? Nobody survives being Speaker of the House. This could very well be his downfall.
Well, we'll see. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Hey, it's Anthony in Kenosha today. How are you, gentlemen?
Oh, let me give some thought, Anthony. How are we, Pete?
Yeah.
How are we?
We're about 2 pages away.
Okay, go ahead. We'll come back.
I have a real quick question here.
Sure.
In reference to the political career of Scott Barter and the political career of Steve Casey, who, in the sheer numbers, did Scott lose to more people than Steve Casey beat in his political career?
I don't know. Pete's looking this up. Pete, you got the answer there?
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble.
Are you looking for a specific number?
Well, being a twice attempted mayoral candidate, I'm not going to call you failed.
Oh, take the knife out of
you
me.
had 3-4 opponents in those 2 races.
At least.
Well, you were involved with the primary.
No, but the question he's asking you is how many times did you ever have opposition?
I had.
So how many people did Steve beat versus how many people Scott lost?
Yeah, but it took him 22 years to accumulate this. I just got rid of mine in about 2 quick times.
Listen, it doesn't. Everybody says I was an alderman for 22 years, but it doesn't really count if you don't remember the first 8. Remember, I was a bartender at the time. I don't remember. There's a lot of the late 80s, early 90s where it's all kind of fuzzy. It was all kind of fuzzy.
Hey, Scott, don't forget, I think our illustrious Steve Casey ran for a statewide office and didn't make it.
Thank you for bringing that up.
I just brought that up myself. I said in 1992 I was in a 3-way primary, and I think 4 people voted for me. I died on the vine miserably. And that was the deal. This was the deal, Anthony. When I got married in 1991, I told my wife, that's it. She wanted me to get back into the funeral business. I said, well, this is the deal. I'm going to run for a statewide office, and if I lose the election, I'll get back into the funeral business. If I win the election, now I'll be a full-time politician. So that's why I think she voted against me. She didn't want me to win because she wanted me to stay here in Kenosha as a funeral director.
That's pretty bad, Anthony, when your wife has the opponent's sign in her front yard, right? That's kind of the
2 signs in the Casey yard. One for him and one for the other guy.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I lost miserably, Anthony. No question about that.
So, are you running for going to run for governor or something?
Governor?
I thought you were in. Somebody told us that. It's a rumor that maybe I started that you were going to be running for governor.
Okay, so that's interesting.
We'll be sure to back you. We'll be sure to back you.
And maybe my mom will vote for me. Wait, my mom doesn't live here.
Hey, I got a question for you, Anthony. How's your buddy Everett Butler doing?
How's he doing?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him for a while.
He's doing well. I talked to him yesterday, actually. He's doing well.
No kidding. I always thought that he would be a genuine, serious candidate for mayor.
Well, he was.
Which is why he's not qualified.
He was a serious candidate.
I understand that, but I always thought that he may jump back into the race, in his retirement at some point.
Oh, I don't think so. He was in
my opinion, Mr. Butler and Keith Bosman, they were very similar candidates. They weren't very hyped and angry and upset. Very cool, level-headed, and I think that when we really did show a comparison and contrast to Keith and to Everett. So I think Keith had a better organization at that point. Now, without keeping the mayoral election in his machine, and there's no slight on it at all, I think we would have seen a different result. I think Pat Moran was saying some things that were very correct, but he comes across as a scolding school teacher.
Yeah, he made some mistakes in that deal, and he knows
Michael
it too.
Bell, we know the situations that he was bringing into that race, and then of course we have Scott Barter.
Because I'm all
try to tape behind the laughter.
No trouble. I'm all about that.
Hey, in reference to Paul Ryan, though, it's interesting that he wants one of the conditions is carving out time with his family. Admirable, take care of your family. I know that's not a problem, but give the rest of us out in this country that same break.
Well, you get the third, Anthony. You get the third most important position in government: President, Vice President, Speaker of the House. And you're saying that you want to spend time with your family, and you're not going to sacrifice that. Well, the American people, that may not be good enough. Fox News is already taking them to task for that by saying, look, if you're going to be Speaker of the House, this is what it involves. If you're not willing to give this, then maybe you should take yourself out of the running. I'm telling you, I think this could be a bad move for him.
I think what you're seeing is it's starting to be the break between the boomers and the millennials. That sense of work ethic is, I will do my job to the best of my ability while I'm here, but you get 40 hours out of me. You don't get 80 hours out of me. And I think that life-work balance is starting to really, the guy's only 43 years old. He's not old like you guys.
Like who?
No, I think isn't he? I think he's 46 or 47.
I thought he was 47, but either way.
Either way, you're right. You're right.
So I think maybe what you're seeing is this idea that, there's got to be a life-work balance. And I'm just talking about on a bigger picture, not Paul Ryan specifically, but people will say, look, what did 80 hours a week get us at the end of the day? You know, what did all this time get us? And maybe that's what Paul Ryan is saying. If Admiral really wants to take care of his family, I just wish some of his votes were reflective of the letting us take care of our families in the same way out here. You
because
know, voting against the Family Medical Leave Act, those kinds of things.
So many of his votes have been
it's a hard
the
job,
opposite
man.
way.
It's like wrangling cats. It's almost as worse as being the host of this radio show.
Is this on? Can you hear me? Is this on? Have we been disconnected?
We keep cutting away.
We keep cutting away.
Hey, but what the heck is Fox News sticking their neck into this for?
I thought I thought they were Ryan supporters, but they were already taking him to task, saying if you're not willing to spend the time, then don't get involved. And this could ruin him for any future presidential run as well.
The Republican Party really needs to identify what they stand for, not so much what they stand against. And this idea of rhinos, Republican in name only, and if you're not further right, then you're not right enough. I mean, really, you got to start talking about what the Republican Party is, what their message is, and then what they want to do. And I think a guy like Paul Ryan might be, a way to start focusing it.
Anthony,
but even now, I'm hearing on conservative radio, he's not conservative enough.
Anthony, I gotta let you go. You stirred up a hornet's nest. All my lines are lit here.
Good day, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate the call. Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Mr. Rosenberg.
It's okay. You failed twice, but hey, the third time is a charm.
Well, it ain't going to be no charm.
Are you talking about mayoral politics or marriages?
Oh, the burn. Get the aloe vera, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to point out that I failed at my first two attempts at running for office, and then I was elected on my third time.
You ran 2 times before you were elected?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that, but probably because I wasn't giving you advice the first 2 times.
You're probably correct.
He was giving me the advice.
No, listen, you and I have talked about this. I was not involved with your campaign at all.
He's bailing on me.
Yeah, the first time I ran was in 2008 in the 14th district. That was over the issue of the proposed Walmart where Fistful of Food sits right now.
Who did you run against?
Actually, I was at the time. Michael Pitts was my alderman.
Okay. Okay.
And
that's
he refused to vote on it on that particular issue. He kept abstaining, using the excuse that he does business with Mr. Terabasi.
Well, you can't blame him there.
Well, he does.
No, wait a minute.
Okay.
He had nothing to do with that particular land deal, so there was not a conflict of interest. Just because he does, as a realtor, does business with him, that does not mean he does not represent the people of the 14th, and he should vote on that. He could have been the deciding vote one way or another on that particular Walmart coming to our neighborhood.
Okay.
That's the point I was trying. That's what prompted me to run. When I entered the race, Michael Pitts decided not to run because he probably was going to lose to me, and then at the last possible minute, Dan Przanski and a gentleman by the name of Robert Przanski entered the race because I was in the 14th district at the time, and I won the primary but lost a general to Dan. And the night of the election, I called up Dan. He didn't know me. I didn't know him. And, and the rest is history. I congratulate him. The better man won. And I didn't work as hard. I could, just because I won the primary, I didn't work as hard as I should have, getting back out there knocking on doors. And
Keith, I got to ask you one more question, and I got to let you go. Would I be better off running for mayor for a third time or getting married for a third time?
Running for mayor.
Well, what could go wrong there?
That's a loaded question. There really isn't a correct answer.
that's next week's trivia question. All right, Keith, I got to get to a break. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
I got to read these last two.
I got that down.
And you chastise me? All right.
Well, it's PG. It's not anything.
Now, can I make a comment about our previous caller, Anthony Kennedy? He's talking about Republicans and Democrats. I've never had a Republican steal a chicken sandwich off the bar at the Sunnyside Club. I'll tell you that right now. Gone in 30 seconds. What's that movie? He
didn't even leave any DNA either.
Nothing. Nothing.
Not even the napkin. Took the
whole thing. Everything was gone. Everything was gone.
Well, he's in the Democrats. That's what Democrats are. I mean, they steal.
Oh, here we go.
Well, I mean, no.
Here we go. Here we go.
Well,
the phones are lit up.
Borrow.
Once again, that was Scott Barter, Barter. Democrats steal.
No.
Is that what you said?
No,
okay. All right, thanks. I got to get out of here. Thank you.
You bailing again? When we come back after the news, we have to go to Lenny. Oh, not till 15. But then we get back, we're going to finish off and continue our discussion about Paul Ryan.
Yeah,
what
do you think? Was it a good idea or bad idea?
Bad idea. I can see what he's doing. He's trying to save his.
He's trying to unify the party.
Just in a total disorganized. And actually, I thought that was Reince Priebus's job, who was the head of the Republican Party. You take care of this. You're right. This could be it for him.
Well, this could jeopardize his future.
We'll be back.
Bad move.
This is Uncle Scotty Barter, and welcome to the all-new and improved Kenosha Today weekly report, coming to you live from Studio A here at WIP AM 1050 on your radio.
I have never seen someone eat a hot dog in 1 minute's weather time.
That's Pete.
You ate a whole hot dog in a minute.
That was the quarter pounder, right?
That was a quarter pound hot dog you ate in 1 minute.
He didn't eat the tinfoil, did he?
Well, that's for later.
Being brought to you by our major sponsor, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, and a host of many other very fine local businesses, taking serious journalism to an all-time high.
We are serious journalists.
Reporting on local stories, state stories spanning the globe.
If we don't know the facts, we make them up.
A little Stevie. Casey is here and sticking with us through thick and thick. The always lovable Trooper Captain Ron.
Good morning, Captain Ron. Thank you for the hot dog.
And the ever alert Pistol Pete's with us at our entertainment destination.
I have lemon iced tea. It's brisk, baby. Woo!
I thought Pete was eating the hot dog.
It's
You've
gone.
got another one yet?
It's gone.
Yeah.
You've got another one.
I gave him 2. I had 1, and there's 1.
Yeah, I've already had a half pound's worth of hot dogs in the past hour, so I probably should hold off.
And I just can't imagine how you keep your girlish figure.
Yeah. I take an old man walk every day around the park and
around the marina.
That's sometimes around the marina.
But I got to tell you, I didn't recognize you when you were walking
all the
past
weight
the
was
marina
burning off,
with the spandex shorts. I didn't recognize you in the spandex.
You just didn't want to recognize me in the spandex.
Oh, you?
Oh, Scott, when did you get here?
Last week.
When did you get here?
Last week. We were talking about Police Chief John Morrissey was on. What you call it?
Frank Carmichael.
Happenings Q&A with Frank Carmichael. Good job.
Great interview. Did you listen to that?
And he was challenging former Alderman Kevin Matheson's accusations about this incident.
Well, he's a watchdog of the community.
Matheson claims he's a self-proclaimed Kenosha watchdog. So at our production meeting the other day, we thought, because nobody seemed to know what it is to be a self-proclaimed watchdog. So this was written in our home office.
I like where this is going.
On the deck at the Boathouse.
I'm liking this already.
This morning's top 10 category, the top 10 qualifications to be considered a self-proclaimed watchdog here in Kenosha. Number 10, you regularly hold your business lunches in front of a vending machine. Number 9, you have listed beginner's luck on your most recent job application. Number 8, you once had a key to City Hall and had it super glued to your thigh. Number 7, you consider your license plate personalized because it was made by a former city alderman. Number 6.
Oh, I like that one. That's kind of cute.
You've appeared on Facebook with your face digitally blurred. Number 5. You've pleaded guilty to spending $75,000 in 3 days for haircuts and having your sideburns trimmed. Number 4. A harassment complaint was filed against you because you can't recite the words of the Miranda rights. Number 3. The Kenosha News can't reach you for a comment because you're too busy erasing emails from Hillary Clinton. Number 2. Your definition of being a whistleblower is, okay, break time's over, everybody back in the Lincoln Park Lagoon. And the number 1 qualification of the Stevie to be considered a self-proclaimed watchdog here in Kenosha.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, you cry all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine.
No reference to anybody.
Good night, Kevin. Good night, Kevin.
That might be.
Say good night, Kevin. Good night, Kevin.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Listen again. And how you spell barter is Barter.
This is why we put this in the corporate name, little Stevie, so something goes astray. Wait
a minute. We've got to, before they got to turn the tape over.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
We'll give everybody a second to get this
done. And this is
done.
to all the radio watchdog people out there, which I'm sure they've recorded the last 5 minutes for sure. But go ahead, and we're going to push stop for a minute. Push stop.
Go ahead, Pete.
All is well. All is well.
Turn tape over.
We always want to give the aldermen down at City Hall the chance to turn the tape over because we know that they record this.
Did you ever think when they sent a tape into the Kenosha News, they thought we would make so much fun of it? Were we supposed to just go run and hide? Because they did it.
Well, they did.
Like, what did they expect? That
they
really?
did. Well, they did interview two-time failed mayoral candidate Scott Barter,
who happened to be 65 at the time.
Line one,
and had photogenic memory. They got that quote right.
We got a caller.
Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Good morning, it's Mike in Winthrop, Podunk Harbor. How are you doing?
Go ahead, Big Mike.
Well, last hour you guys were talking about crying Ryan, because he's got missed his family working.
Yes.
Where does this Einstein think for since 2006, 9 and 10 million Americans been doing, working 2 and 3 part-time jobs just to make ends meet?
Valid point. Valid point.
So this is what gets me PO'd about these politicians. They got it so soft. Now these guys going to have to maybe do some extra work and put in another 20 hours at least. Oh, my heart breaks.
Let me ask you a question, Mike. How do you feel about term limits?
Well, I thought that was when you get voted in, that was a term limit what people do, but they don't want to do that anymore.
That's true.
I think we should start going to that. But I think there's a downside to that, too.
Now, when he's the Speaker of the House, that's a substantial increase in base pay. I think he's going to be up there with some extra money, right?
I'm not sure if it corresponds that way anyways. But money, when you get to Congress, money's not an issue anyways.
Yeah.
That was my other question. This guy's making, what, at least $130,000 a year?
No, I think congressmen now make about 160.
Oh, and he can't live on that, let alone he's got to whine and cry about, he's not going to be around his family. When Americans since 2006, when the economy started collapsing, millions of Americans been looking to make $30,000 a year.
Mike, you're absolutely right. I think the key here is, on paper, the fact that he wants to spend more time with his family, I think, is admirable. It shows that he's a family man. But in reality, people just like yourself are thinking, you know what? Do the job. If you're going to get the job, do the job.
He's just another politician giving lip service, and he's got to do some real work for a change and thinks it's going to kill him. Well, welcome to the club. Not you, but Einstein Ryan. He finally figured it out.
Maybe he should just bow out of this, huh?
Well, I think maybe all these politicians start working about 60 hours a week, see what it's like for what the real American people have to go through.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mike.
Take care, guys.
All right, thanks.
And I'm a Ryan fan, but I think this tact that he's taking, and that's in reference to a sailboat, this tact that he's taking is
sailboat. How do we get to that?
It could be detrimental to his
What's
future.
going to be detrimental is that that 40-person Freedom Caucus, aka the Tea Party, doesn't want to actually govern. They want to sort of obfuscate and shut down the government and whatever.
Kind of like the Fabulous Five.
And right, they're like I've thought there's a lot of parallels between the way the Tea Party does business and the way the Fab Five do business. Like they're playing out of the same playbook.
Well, I think a lot of times they do. Talk about term limits for a minute, Scott.
He's still working on obfuscate.
Well, when you guys were beating the heck out of these people, I thought I would point out to our listeners that's Casey, C-A-C-Y, and P-E-T-E.
Just remember,
when the lawsuit comes,
in the last half an hour, Scott Barter made the comment, and you can verify this through your tape, Democrats steal.
That was a miss.
Now, in all fairness, that was a joke.
Well, they don't always get caught. There's a technicality.
There you go.
If you just say politicians, the
guy who stole my chicken sandwich was a Democrat.
Yeah, big thank you to the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, 4917. Give us a nice intro when we come back like that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I try to get excited to talk to Lenny Palmer, but it's hard. It's difficult sometimes.
Lenny Palmer, the price slasher, he could be the new host of Tradio.
Oh, Lord, here we go. Why?
Well, he's inviting everybody. I think it's a great idea to go out and see what he's wearing. Do you know what he's wearing today, Pete?
I have not. I have not seen Lenny yet today.
What Lenny Palmer is wearing has no interest.
This is the Tradio theme. If anybody was,
we were talking about a variety of items. About Paul Ryan. You think he's making a good choice to be Speaker of the House?
What do you think about Biden?
2-6. Well, I was surprised that he did it on Wednesday, because I thought that he would wait till after the Hillary Clinton Grove games, and if she was going to take a bath, which I still think it depends on who you talk to. The Republicans say that she didn't answer and she lied, and the Democrats think, this is the greatest thing to help her campaign. So
listen, the bottom line is this: he's 72 years old. He's been around forever. His family is still in the midst of grieving the loss of their son and brother and whatnot. And the time just wasn't right for him. I don't think he's got the fire in his belly.
It's time for him 72.
It's time for him to walk off into the sunset and enjoy the rest of your life.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He ran for president twice, so he is what they would consider a
two-time failed presidential
candidate.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
I just want to make sure I clarify that.
But for some reason, I think he's doing a little better than you.
Because he actually made it to an elected office at a certain point. He's won more elections than he's lost.
Scotty, why do you bring these stupid things up?
Listen, I tried to get on your team.
You did?
You point blank told me you weren't interested in my advice.
Well, I never said that. I didn't have a team.
One hot dog left.
You did. Hey, we got one hot dog left.
Get your Red Hots here. Get your Red Hots.
Anyway, if you think
I'm going to take this with me. What's on it? Mustard?
Ketchup
and mustard. I'll suffer through it.
Okay.
You guys don't mind if we get away from the hot dog show here?
Well, he made hot dogs. He brought in hot dogs.
All right, but I was we have a show here. Do we want to finish up here?
Are we on the air?
We are.
Still?
I got a shout out to Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Think we just come in here and eat hot dogs?
Say hi to
for
my
2 hours on Saturday
former
night?
teacher for me today. Yeah.
It's not as if,
If you have an opinion on what you think Biden should have stayed in the race, if you think Hillary got what she did good or bad, or if you think Paul Ryan is making a good choice, 262-694-1050. Here's a article that marijuana use among U.S. adults doubled over this last decade.
Really?
Well, man, have a hot dog.
Well, that's news. Don't you think that...
Dude. Really, dude?
Yeah. Just thought that if anybody wants to weigh in on marijuana use.
So say
I do
again,
have a bag of Cheetos here. So.
Adult marijuana use has doubled?
Doubled over the last decade. Almost 22 million, mostly recreational users.
Okay, I get another fact for you.
Okay.
Did you know that Wisconsin and Minnesota are the number one consumers of Korbel brandy? In the world per capita,
yeah.
and they account for 85% of the Korbel brandy company's business right here in the Midwest.
Well, it's about time Wisconsin
is known for something.
Known for something other than the Green Bay Packers.
And the community watchdogs.
And the community watchdogs.
And the failed mayoral candidates.
Jesus.
There it is.
Moving right to a commercial. Lee Plumbing, Electrical, Heating, and Cooling.
Tomorrow morning after I get up, I have a cup of coffee. The official email.
About?
My invite to Thanksgiving at our home. It's coming up.
Oh, I'll be looking forward to that coming tomorrow morning.
Now,
what's that mean?
Line 2.
Oh. Line 2. I don't have anything in
we don't
front
have
of me.
nothing.
That's why I'm queuing
Go
him.
like this.
Wiggle the handle.
Jiggle.
Good morning. You're on Kenosha Today.
Hi, you jigglers. You hi.
Hey, Paul, you get an extra tip if you can make the tassels go in opposite directions.
You don't want to see that.
What's on your mind today, big boy?
Well, I have a bone to pick with. I don't know who I have to pick it with, but Pete already claimed he had nothing to do with it, so I guess it's
Punch
between
Speedy, that's me.
It's between Ron and Scott. Okay, I went to watch the replay of the Trixie show last week, and I seen her in the doorway behind Steve before Steve bailed out. And
I didn't bail. I ran to the car. I didn't bail. I ran to the car.
Okay.
I said to myself, "Wow, this could be interesting." Then once she gets down in the studio, you put Steve right in front of her, Steve Snyder, and you could barely see part of her face.
Ron?
Who positioned her there?
So in other words, Paul, this really has nothing to do with me.
It has community standards. I think is what it is.
You were innocent.
Channel 14 has standards.
Well, actually,
Scott doesn't have any standards.
Yeah, there's a couple of ex-wives out there that can vouch for that.
Actually, in all clarification, I only had one time to the rodeo, and maybe
Paul.
A couple of.
Okay, Ron. I guess what can you do?
Yeah.
Hey, Paul. Dale called in earlier, and actually, you two are in top running. We'll have to see how you perform through the winter months coming up in the 17th district.
For volunteer
of the year
out in 17th district.
I'll have to see what I can do.
I mean, we don't want you to only give 109%. No slacking this year.
I know, it's tough, though, but,
Hey, how's his Stevie's Facebook page coming?
wonderful.
Speaking of which,
he's got up to 42 friends or whatever.
Okay, wait a minute. In all fairness, have you read the paper? We've been a little busy this week.
Oh,
So
yeah.
next week, Paul and I and Patty are going to sit down, and he will be the administrator. Paul will be the administrator of our Facebook
We've heard
page.
that 3 months ago, Pete.
Well, but we get busy, and then things like that take a back seat.
I guess Stan didn't pull through, so they had some time this week. Maybe next week.
So what do you think of the Cubs?
Well, they had a nice run, but, geez, that pitching for the Mets just was a little bit too much for them.
Well, what about the hitting? These guys look like they were.
Well, they look
on
like
the
they knew
dime.
which pitches were coming, for heaven's sakes.
I played enough baseball to know the guy's sitting on a 2-1 breaking ball. Man, he's hitting 200 average hitters are hitting the ball 400 feet. What do you think?
Murphy had home runs in 6 straight games.
Yeah, he's not that good a hitter. He was.
Well, he's about a 280, 290 hitter lifetime. That's not bad nowadays.
Oh, I thought I was talking about the other guy who was only hitting a couple of them. He only was hitting 200.
Hell, Euchre hit 190. He made it in the major leagues.
Euchre hit 200. The less he played, the better off he stayed on the team.
Well, that's kind of how we're thinking of you lately.
Hey, come on
He's
now.
beating the devil out of me today, Paul.
I don't know what to say.
Well, say something.
I just better leave, I think. I don't know what to say anymore.
Paul, thank you for the call.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you next week. Volunteer,
Thank you for the
potential
call.
volunteer of the
Thank you
year.
for the call. He didn't say nothing. He just called breathe hard.
He chastised me.
Yeah.
I chastised Ron. Come on. I mean, and Ron's such a good guy. You can only do that for a brief moment.
Paul, I got to tell you, Captain Ron brought in fabulous hot dogs. I got a
They're
second
good.
one right here. I'm going to eat it on the way home.
Next thing you know, Shirley will be bringing in her pie for you guys.
Yeah, you know what I had? Although, I forgot to mention this to Shirley. You know what I had for dinner last night?
What was that?
Meatloaf.
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 Pete doesn't like meatloaf, though.
I'm not a big fan of meatloaf. No.
You've never had my wife's meatloaf?
Well, that's true.
You can't really say that.
So, has the show gone to you have to tell everybody what you had for dinner, what you had for
Well,
breakfast?
I just asked
you're
Ron
having
what
for
he's
snack?
having for dinner tonight. He says he's going to make, what, ribeye?
Ribeye.
You're going to carve pumpkins tonight, which
Sun's coming in
I hate Halloween. Did I tell you how much I hate Halloween?
Right up there with your wife.
Yeah, I don't want no snot those little kids coming over to Barter Manor begging me for candy either.
I'll tell you my Halloween story now. I'll tell you why I hate Halloween.
You want to stick around for this, Paulie?
No, I better. I'll hang up and listen.
Good, move. All right.
Well, my mother had 5 kids. We got 5 kids. I got 4 sisters growing up. And it was a little difficult for year after year after year to have original costumes at the Casey household. And all of my sisters hate Halloween as well. And we're sitting around one time about 10 years ago, and we're talking about this at Christmas or something. Oh, I hate Halloween too. And we all came to the same general consensus. Our costumes stunk.
What were you dressed as?
My mother one year put a Tupperware bowl on my head, dressed me in my bathrobe,
And that was the first day of school.
and said, and says to me, I said, Mama, what am I? You're a Chinaman. A Tupperware bowl and a bathrobe. And then another year, my 2 little sisters, she cut holes in the bottom of a Piggly Wiggly paper bag, put their head in the arms out there. There, you're garbage.
Boy, your mother's.
My mother was a little less than creative.
I have a pretty ghoulish skeleton mask. I wore it with the Packers hoodie, and went as the ghost of Brett Favre's career one year. I think that was really
Well, that was original.
really clever.
Okay,
I'm gonna do the
Ron,
same thing with the Cubs
Now
jersey this
see
year.
if you guys are true Packer fans. Well, that's my story about why I hate Halloween, because our costumes were horrible. My mother never bought costumes, so I think we have a fault.
Good morning on Kenosha today.
Morning, gentlemen. Jeff from Kenosha.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you were talking about Paul Ryan, and I like to delve a little deeper into things. Wasn't he Mitt Romney's running mate in the last election?
Yes.
So you're telling me he doesn't want to be the Speaker of the House because of his family responsibilities, and I can respect that. I do like Paul Ryan. But wasn't he already all set to be vice president?
Yeah, but the vice president really doesn't do much. I mean, what does he do?
Well, he's in Washington all the time. I know that.
Well, there was.
They got a house out
He's
there.
got a good point. He's got a good
A very good point, because he was on the road. The caller, he was on the road during the campaign, like 29 days out of 30, and he certainly wasn't with his family during that.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Joe Biden, I just heard him talk last week before he is announcing he wasn't going to run, and he had said that he spends 6 to 7 hours a day talking with Obama. Whether you believe that or not, I don't know. But so this job, that job would have kept him away from his family. So I'm just a little leery on believing that this time around he's worried about his family, and last time he was willing to be vice president.
It seems to me you would have more of a future as vice president than Speaker of the House. When's the last time Speaker of the House was elected to a higher office?
1880.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often. So vice president, you maybe a better
1880.
I mean, I don't want to sound cynical because the man wants to spend time with his kids. That great? But,
that's
you know,
an honorable. I would. That's honorable. I'm just questioning how the last time around he was ready to be vice president, and now, well, he wants to spend time with his family. I think last time would have took more time away from his family.
Well, Jeff, haven't you learned by now politicians speak out of both sides of their mouth?
They speak in stereo.
So anyway,
all right.
Okay,
Thanks. Appreciate it. He's got a good point. I got to read one more sponsor before really hawking cars up there. The Price Slasher.
He was pumped.
He's pumped, man.
Pumped you up.
You know, we're going to go to the weather, and I have a question. This guy says it's going to, I've never heard of this guy.
Brian Nazansky. He's the newest meteorologist.
No, they
at
all
Channel
make
4.
up their names, though, right?
This might be his real name.
Nazansky?
Because I think he's from the Milwaukee area.
Well, it's like Scott Barter. That's only his TV name.
Nobody else wants it.
He's well, tell him you're actually Harold Heidenschmidt.
Actually, they gave him that name when he tried to get on the air for free the first time. He was bartering for airtime.
My point was, before I was interrupted,
yes, sir.
Was this guy with the weather, all he has to do is look out the WIP weather window, and the sun's out. Where's he coming up with? Look at Pete. Where's he think it's going to rain?
Well, you know, got to keep a chance for showers in the
weather. All right, we'll be back in 1 minute. You can listen to this guy or not. Making the turn, heading down the home stretch for this morning's program. If you just arrived here in the trolley, this is the Kenosha Today Weekly Report, coming to you live here in WIP AM 1050. Brought to you by our major sponsor, the Boathouse Pub and Eatery, and a host of many other fine local businesses.
Now, do we have our signals down? We are a well-oiled machine, just like the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
When he puts because we don't have a phone monitor in front of us, when Pete does this, puts his hand up to his ear, that means we have a caller.
Yeah,
what does this mean?
Well,
that means stop talking, and this finger doesn't mean you're number one.
Let me
so we got the signals down. We got the signals down.
Yeah. See, this should be left to a production meeting. This isn't something normal shows.
Yeah, I got an issue with that, by the way.
What's that?
I was in the boathouse the other night with Donut Dave and his bride.
What time?
We walked in at exactly 5:08.
I was gone at 5:06.
Bill Lawrence.
I Bible study that night.
Keep talking, boys. Keep rolling.
What the hell? We got people. I was going to say we got people walking up and down the hall here. What the hell's going on? People yelling and everything else.
We've been talking.
Good morning,
about,
Mr. Casey. Good morning. Welcome to WLIP.
Joe Biden leaving.
You're going to get frisked the second time you had to come in.
we were talking about Joe Biden.
That's when we then we guest hosted the Lenny Palmer show. You know, he must like us.
How come he doesn't invite us when he goes out to Onasco Motors?
Well,
Can
you
you imagine us being out there?
Pronounce the name of the place right might help.
What did I say?
Anastos.
Anastos.
What did I say?
Anascos.
I got motors right.
You know, I got to tell you, your command of the English language never ceases to amaze me.
I was in the gifted program.
You're gifted, all right.
He had his mittens attached to his jacket all year long.
I want to thank the House of Gerhard restaurant located at
Planner. You guys probably remember this. I carry 3 things with me, my good luck charm. A little mustard seed, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, anything is possible. I carry a 1999 50-cent piece, okay, from 1899 rather, 1899, so over 100 years old. And the final good luck charm that I carry in my day planner, ask me anytime, is a brass Sunnyside chip. The drink tokens, remember when they used to do that? You'd buy a bottle of booze, and you'd get a drink token. This is an original one from 1960-something.
I got a call. Good morning, you're on Kenosha Today.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Catholic Joe calling to let Pete know he's off the hook because we lost last night. Great game. However, my wife is Lutheran, and Shoreland Lutheran won, being in Kenosha.
Pete?
I assume you're going to cover that game now.
We are.
I'll hang up and listen for my answer. And again, great show.
Thank you, Joe.
I want to hear this.
Listening for your answer, Pete.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
And also, and also with you.
And with your spirit nowadays. We're consulting as to which game we're going to do next week, so we'll have to look at the schedule and figure it out.
Not, since we're talking about Catholic.
No, first of all,
are we talking about Catholic?
Okay, but you were explaining the things that you had in your wallet. Cover that camera, Ron. You want to see what I got in my wallet?
All right, no more unzipping in the studio. That's enough.
I carry
What's
3
in your
good luck
wallet?
charms. I came across an 1899 silver dollar, and I carry a small little mustard seed because I'm a person of faith. And I carry a original brass Sunnyside token. And the old timers who used to come in, they'd buy a bottle of brandy, and you'd get a token for a free shot or a highball or a beer, you know. And they don't have those anymore. And this is an original one. That's right. The original owners own Town and Country and Sunnyside.
Here's the card I carry because I'm a man of faith. That's my Medicare card. That's my Medicare card because I am a man of faith.
I got to tell you, to go to church every now and then on a Sunday maybe wouldn't hurt.
I do.
Scott.
Ron and I go down to Our Lady of the Long Islands on Sunday and have services.
I've seen Barter in church, not recently, but there was a few times he showed up on a Sunday morning.
There's too many candles.
He has a wax allergy, so it's rough on him.
Too many candles down there for me.
Well, he has a wax allergy. Did he have a breakout when Trixie was here last week?
Okay.
Ouch. What were you going to say? You were going in the Catholic direction for a second. What did you have? Or you forgot?
I kind of forgot.
Gone.
Okay. Father Bill, of course, was a caller a few weeks ago. Very interesting caller, pastor of Holy Rosary, and I think he's going to join us again maybe next.
We
Saturday.
get a lot of that. First-time callers, last-time listeners. What's that about? No, Pete, you didn't answer. Are you going to do a Lutheran football game?
Shoreland and Wilmot are the two Kenosha County teams still active for next week, so we have to figure out the logistics between those two games, where they are and
when they are,
and so forth.
You don't
when
know
they are, yeah. We know the opponents. Wilmot's playing Waukesha West, and I think Shoreland is playing Cedar Grove, Belgium.
Well, so I would give you my 2 cents. I would do the Lutheran game.
You would, huh?
Well, you've already upset the Catholics, so.
Well, why not? I want to treat all religions equally, though. I want them all equally.
You can't say that about Pete. Pete is absolutely.
I bring in the sheaves every weekend, buddy. Woo!
What do you mean?
He's a man of faith.
He did the Tremper game.
He sings in the choir, for heaven's sakes, at church.
For heaven's sakes.
Yeah, it is actually for.
You know, Pete, in 20 years, you can start using that for heaven's sakes.
Yeah. Okay.
262-694-1050. I think he should do the Lutheran game. He did a Bradford Tremper game. They were both 2-5, and he shunned the Catholic St. Joe's, who were going to the playoffs.
Bradford Tremper is a must. It's one of John Perry's 10 Commandments. You gotta.
Well, John Perry got fired.
No, he's
back.
Around, yeah.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're not here during the week.
He's exactly, which is why I have to.
You keep this up, we ain't going to be here on Saturdays either.
Yes, I take the heat for a lot of you weekend folks.
Every time I pull in, and this is the other thing, every Monday there's an email that goes around to all WLIP. Who took and moved my coffee mug out of the coffee office and blah, 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 blah. Who took my headphones and please put them back and blah, blah. Who cares?
Well,
it's not us.
But Stevie, if you had a $100 pair of headphones,
well, then why would you leave them out on the counter somewhere? Put them somewhere where nobody finds them.
No, the problem is that people do hide them and people go digging for them.
Yeah.
So that's sort of an invasion issue that we're dealing with.
You get these emails. You get them, don't you? They send them around to everybody. Like I'm going to steal someone's headphones on a weekend.
And most of the shows that I produce, all of the hosts have headphones. You guys have, usually Ron bails you out, but you have headphones. Mr. Dick Lesko has headphones. The golf guys have their own headphones. So I'm but not every show is as responsible. So
are you calling us responsible?
In a backhanded way.
That means I have a phone call.
You have a phone call.
Good morning on Kenosha Today.
Just a quick comment.
Okay.
Marijuana, did you say it's going to be legal?
No.
Shirley's worried about her business.
I said,
Shirley.
I got my pot in the garage.
Yeah, well, we know that. No, I said marijuana.
You're going to go legit in 5 years, Shirley?
Yeah. Get out of the olive oil business, and you'll be completely legit in 5 years. It says here, marijuana use among U.S. adults doubled over the last decade.
Especially on Roosevelt Road in Kenosha for some reason.
Up to 22 million.
Well, Shirley, we're still going to get stoned this afternoon, aren't we?
Right.
I'll be over my normal time about 3 o'clock.
The watchdog's showing up now.
Good,
See, if they legalize it in Wisconsin, you could be legit.
I was thinking that.
Shirley,
What?
Pot dealer.
She's got the prettiest baggies out of anybody, though. It comes with the doily and everything. Very high class.
Yep.
You buy an ounce of pot and you get a crocheted handkerchief.
And a piece of pie.
And a piece of pie. And a piece of pie
And
to
a
eat
piece
after
of pie.
your own.
Yeah.
I think we're onto something, Shirley.
And you could probably wash it down with some rum chata. You got
Right. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I made pumpkin. I don't think that's your favorite, Steve, but that's what they wanted today. So I made pumpkin for Halloween.
So how does marijuana crop look in your garage for this year?
Great.
Yeah? You ready to harvest?
Just about, yeah.
Now, do you use natural light or do you use the infrared lights?
I won't tell.
That's a trade secret.
That's a trade secret, yeah.
It's a secret.
Belonging to the Shirley cartel.
All right, Shirley, I'll see you this afternoon about 3 o'clock, normal time, okay?
Great.
Shirley, you have done more for the cause of legalization than anybody else in this city, and we appreciate
Roll
that.
up a couple fat ones over there, baby.
Well, you better be careful.
Fat boys, I mean.
We're going to be replaced in the second hour, getting stoned with Shirley.
Hey, that would be a nice name for a show.
Sounds good to me.
Getting stoned with Shirley.
Forget Tradio. Forget the Kenosha Today Show. Forget
You're on the air with Shirley.
I think you got a winner there.
So, dude, what can I do for you, dude?
You're on
Shirley's not here, man.
Man, I see Shirley everywhere.
Now, these guys aren't speaking from experience. They're just making this stuff up, you know.
Right.
Of course, that's a disclaimer, yeah.
That's a disclaimer. All right, man.
All right,
we got to go to Lenny Palmer, man. Should we go to?
That second hour would be great.
I'm waiting for him to pop on the line here.
All right, let me read this.
Getting stoned.
That's it. No, yeah, that's it. So
anyway,
all right, he's on his own.
We were talking. We probably wants it better that way. We were talking about all this political stuff, and nobody seemed to care. But when he talked about marijuana use doubling,
Shirley got excited.
And we've been thinking about it.
Shirley got pretty excited there. Did you say that marijuana is going to be legal?
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what we said, Shirley.
This is going to be the new theme song for Shirley. What are we going to call this?
Getting stoned with Shirley. You're on the air with Shirley.
If you think this is a good idea, 262-694-1050.
With every ounce of marijuana, you get a crocheted handkerchief and a piece of pie.
And homemade knit booties. Keeps your feet warm.
Talk about being your full service. She's just not, a regular drug dealer. I mean, she's not a dealer. This is for, it says, this is
legitimate
for
business purposes.
And recreational
I could put together a heck of a advertising campaign. Get your pot from Grandma.
Well, it's non-threatening that way, of course.
Right,
so
right.
It's good.
This is recreational
Who
users.
takes better care of you than your grandmother? Buy your pot from Shirley. Grandma Shirley.
There's going to be so many emails and John Perry's. Those guys don't take it seriously. Yeah,
but it says this is 22 million recreational users. This is a government survey, so you know that this.
Oh, it's got to be legit.
So recreational users, I can give up golf.
Well, it's got to be. It's got to be legit.
How about I could have Shirley drive my golf cart? Oh, Scotty, go around the corner, dude.
Well, that'd be the first time that was ever done on a golf course, I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
Well, this is America. We could have a lot of fun with this.
Well, or should Wisconsin legalize marijuana? I mean,
now Scott Walker's in charge.
Well, it goes to a referendum.
Take this.
You are just making this up, right? Boy,
Listen, I got to tell you,
a little hazy in here.
I can hardly
Smells
handle.
like the bathroom in high school. What is
Listen,
this?
I got a group of guys who, among us, we can barely handle our Corbel brandy. Can you imagine? Can you imagine my picking up marijuana? For heaven's sake, what are you, insane?
For heaven's sakes. What if we get busted?
Really give you the watchdog something.
Oh my
Well,
God.
if there's a watchdog in
we're
the
done.
community, he could have the squad car, and although the police don't like him,
I thought that when he was first in office, he chased down somebody who was
With a gun.
allegedly
He had a gun.
with smoking a joint in the car, didn't he? And
He had a gun with him. I know that.
I am not going to comment on this because I have the details. But again, Scott Barter is Barter.
I brought it up. I don't care.
Let's talk about your bailout program here.
All right.
694.
Hey, we got a phone call.
2 hours and he's getting the signs now. Good morning. You're on Kenosha today.
Gentlemen.
Yes, George. Hey, first of all, George, before you start talking, I do want to caution you that marijuana is not legal yet.
I know it's not.
Okay.
But I wish it was. But we're getting out of, we're going to talk about near serious moment here. Joe Biden.
Yes.
I had a funny feeling that he was going to say no.
Why?
Because of what he's gone through.
Okay.
Well, his family's certainly grieving. There's no question.
In front of that.
Yeah, I agree.
I know.
Okay.
I'm one of the people that's gone through it.
Yeah.
The only thing is Joe Biden has gone through it twice in his life, and my dad went through it twice in his life.
Well, a lot of people don't see the other side of once a death takes place and you experience a loss. It can be very consuming, all consuming. There's no question about that, George.
Yeah. Well, Steve, you should know.
There you go.
You dealt with people like us on a daily basis.
No, it's not easy. That's why I like to show up on Saturday morning and just forget about everything. And talk with my good friends George and Irish Ruth and Scott Barter and so.
All
right, George.
Thanks.
Thanks for the call.
Boy. Oh, we were talking about Biden and
about taking the wind out of your sails.
Well, geez, speaking of Scott Walker, you see, guy owes $1 million to settle his debts from his presidential campaign. I don't think you can have that discharged in bankruptcy. You got to ante up, and who's going to give the guy any money after he's toast?
No, he ain't done. He's going to run again, for heaven's sakes.
I don't think so. If he did this, trust me, you've been here, you lose once.
You wait 10 years and see if anything changes.
Run again, right?
Well, he got out soon
Leave
enough.
the party early when the results come in.
I understand that a lot of Kenosha people don't like him, but I think he got out early enough not to do himself any lasting damage.
Hey, what was Trump's take? I didn't hear what his take was on Hillary's ordeal the other day. Pete, did you know? Did he say it was okay, or do you think the Republicans won?
I did not hear. I haven't heard a lot from Trump.
Well, Did you see the debate, the Democratic debate? For heaven's sakes, I mean, Bernie Sanders pretty much handed off the nomination to her when he said, "I don't really care about your emails." Gave her a complete pass on that, made it a non-issue. She's the presumptive nominee. How can she not be? For heaven's sakes,
that's why I think Biden didn't want to get in. Nobody wants to hammer Hillary about the emails.
I wouldn't hammer her
either. Hello. Or now, see, now you went there. Now, about either the emails or Benghazi, because
that's Barter, Barter.
That's kryptonite for a Democrat to have to go after, but that's what you have to do. So.
But Trump's polls in Florida and Ohio are just, he's beating everybody.
Well, Carson's ahead of him now in Iowa.
In Iowa, but that's not surprising because, but in these other states, Florida and Ohio, he's way out in front of everybody else.
And I'll tell you why the Republican Party doesn't want Trump.
Why?
Well, this is what's going to happen. This is my take on it. This is my spin. Trump gets the nomination, and he is steadfast, sticking to his immigration plan. All the illegals get kicked out. Everybody out. We're going to build a wall.
Okay.
The Republicans don't want that. The Republicans want to control the White House and be the ones to make all of the illegals legal. And why? Because those are the people who will continue to vote for the Republicans.
I thought that was Obama's deal where he wanted to exonerate 5 million illegals, and I thought that was his purpose. I didn't think that was a Republican.
Well, no, but that's what the Republicans want to do. I mean, Jeb Bush has got a plan, for amnesty. That's why the hardcore Republicans are going to support a guy like Bush and not Trump.
By the way, did you hear how Jeb Bush got in trouble this week? Not in like trouble. Did you see this new promo for Supergirl?
No.
It's like
he said she was
hot, and
so
then
what?
Everybody got their nose bent out of shape because he said Supergirl was hot.
Well, Supergirl is hot.
I agree.
I think she's not any older than your daughters. How can you say that?
Well,
come on,
people
really?
thought it was an inappropriate comment.
Are you making a big deal about a comment like that?
What do you think of this,
Scott? The first time you met my wife, you said she was hot, for heaven's sakes.
No, she said I was hot.
I knew it was one of the. I knew it was one of the two. One of the two.
And then after about 5 minutes of talking to me, she says, "Who's this moron?"
How can you not look at a young lady who's very attractive and say, "Yeah, she's a hot
Well,
young
they
lady"?
didn't put her on TV because she's not good looking.
Well, exactly.
You ever notice that they put good-looking people on television
And they put non-good-looking
In
people
the radio.
on the
radio.
radio.
That is absolutely
selling
correct.
cars.
From way downtown.
Barter.
Beyond the arts.
B-A-R.
Nothing but net. Nothing but net.
That's a meeting.
What do you think of this ticket with Trump and Carson as running mate?
Not a chance.
Why?
Carson would never
They're
be
going to
part
run
of that.
on the crazy ticket?
Carson would never
Well,
be
they're
part
both
of that.
never been politicians. I think they both bring some good things to the table.
Neither
Well,
one
I'm
of them
telling
deals
you,
in facts
I
either.
mean,
That's an issue.
I have said all along, and this is funny coming from a guy who was on the council for 22 years, but I've supported term limits all along, right from the beginning. One of the first things I did in 1988 was introduce term limits. I couldn't even get the issue out of committee. Nobody even wanted to talk about term limits.
But you have term limits every 2 years. As you even said, this is my term limits.
I'm going to tell you something right now. Past the first election, most aldermen are vulnerable. Most politicians are vulnerable in the first reelection cycle, especially local politicians. That's when you're most vulnerable. You get past the first election and the second election,
Pretty much
and
there.
it's very difficult to unseat an incumbent unless he's a complete idiot and not doing his job.
Which we've had a couple of those.
I believe there's a 5 to 10 percentage point advantage over just with name recognition, whether you're good or bad.
Well, in a let's take a...
That's why you may have a chance in the third mayoral election because everybody knows you as a 2-time failed mayoral candidate.
I got better chance of getting married a second time. Did I say that?
Is this on?
Paul said to run for mayor, not marriage.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
All he said.
Well, I'm just telling you. I think aldermen are vulnerable in the first election cycle, but I can and my plan back in 1990 was to introduce term limits, but lengthen the term of aldermen from 2 to 3 years, and make it a 2-term limit, so you can only serve 2 terms for 3 years apiece. Because you know what that does? In the second 3 years, you don't have to worry about who you're getting upset or what neighbors you're getting upset. You're going to do what you want to do and what your core values believe in because you don't have to worry about getting reelected.
Do you think that's in holding to that concept, that's why Mayor Bosman waited for this trolley extension after he got elected the last time and said, who cares, right? I mean, I'm going to try to, I know it's not going to be very popular, but I'm not going to run anyway, so who cares? With that concept, right?
You think out of those 6,000 signatures, they'd find somebody to run for mayor out of that,
I really thought.
I think there's going to be many. I think there's for sure going to be one other mayoral candidate, which I think is a good thing. I don't think anybody should get a free pass,
I agree with
especially
that.
on that level.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, John Anaramian is the presumptive mayor, and we don't know really anything about his platform.